So this is it. Stranger Things is finished. I just finished the last episode yesterday. It is gone. It is done. And I kind of wanted to talk to you guys about what I got out of the series. So, welcome everyone to the Dr. Blue Duck podcast. And I did it. I went ahead and subscribed to Netflix again for a few weeks. I already unsubscribed to Netflix because it's not my favorite streaming service. Doesn't really represent me or my values, but hey, whatever. I used it for Stranger Things and now it is already gone. So I finished Stranger Things and it was always kind of a special show for me. My wife and I began watching it when we were still dating. And now we have two little boys, and I finished the last episode yesterday. And I had to sit on it a little bit. I had to think about it because it affected me somehow, and I didn't know exactly how or why until my wife and I, with our boys, we went for a little late night drive, and I started thinking, why do I like Stranger Things so much? Why am I sad that the show's over? Why is it that I don't think there will ever be a show that kind of compares to it? Well, Stranger Things had the 80s in it, and I grew up as a kid, growing up in the 80s as a young kid in the 90s. And it had those elements of sci-fi, medieval fantasy with D&D and horror as well. So it was kind of a coming of age story. And I kept on thinking, well, there's other movies that have that. And I kept on going back to why. Why Stranger Things for me? And this is it. This is it, guys. I figured it out. It's because of the 80s. I just love the 80s. I miss the 80s. There's something about the 80s, growing up as a kid in the 80s, that I miss. And yeah, I like the music. I liked how people dressed. I just liked I liked the video games in the 80s. I liked so many things, but what I think I miss a lot from the 80s today is the way that we were unplugged in the 80s. You see, when I came home from elementary school in the 80s and I walked into my house, there was just the telephone, there was no email, there was no texting, there was nothing like that. So there was nothing electronic online. It was like I was done. I was home from school and I was done. And when people came home from work in the 80s, they were done. That was it. I mean, my dad and I might do a trip to the video rental store and rent a movie or pick up food and come home and watch it with my mom and little sister. And it was just chill. It was so simple to be home and done and unplugged and unconnected. And when things were unconnected, it just felt like there was more of a peace. Now, I saw someone post this. It was like just a simple little post, and I went ahead and screenshotted it just because it was just powerful. It hit things where they're at. And it said this: maybe we don't need more, maybe we need less. Less stimulation, less comparison, less urgency. Not to go back in time, but to reclaim the ability to enjoy what's already here. And I thought that's so true. So I'm thinking, what can I do in my life right now to make it more like how life was in the 80s? What can I do? So I decided to unplug a little bit. I decided that I don't need every social media platform. I'm taking a break from X, Twitter. I'm taking a break from Facebook. It doesn't mean I'm deleting my Facebook. I'm just kind of deleting it off my app, and I'll check it every now and then. And I know I don't have to post on everything. So I'm just taking a little bit of a break to unplug, not to be completely uninvolved, but just to unplug, to kind of experience what I used to have back in the 80s, this sense of coming home and just being present, just being alive, and being able to notice the little small things around me because I'm not so plugged in. I'm not so attached to everything else out there. And it's like we weren't designed to listen to everyone's political opinions all the time. Every time we have a short break where we pull out our phone and hear what someone thinks about this or that, we don't need to know that. And although social media is neat that it gives everyone a voice, it's also problematic because it gives everyone a voice. And there's people out there who we should not be listening to. Back years ago, I mean, you have small towns and rural areas, and people would know, like, hey, you can listen to that person, you can listen to that person. But there's people like we don't no one listens to that crazy guy down the street because his life's in shambles and he's not good to people and he does horrible things and has a life that's very selfish and people would know not to listen to that person. But that guy gets on social media in 2026 and it's like his opinions just as valid as everyone else's, and it's really not, because that guy doesn't have the credibility to back up his statements. So, why are we listening to all these random voices all the time? And I'm thinking, we shouldn't, or I shouldn't. I don't know about you, but I shouldn't. And it's doing something. It's doing something to our brains where every time we pick up our phone to take a picture of our kids or to learn about a new video game or to just hear the regular news, there's all these voices attached to it from people who we really shouldn't be listening to their opinion because it really doesn't matter to us. And we say it doesn't matter to us, but we hear it over and over again. We hear all these things and it begins to kind of take a toll on us because we weren't meant to hear every single person's opinion on everything. We weren't meant to hear every time a tragic situation happens to anyone in the country or anyone in the world. We weren't supposed to hear about every little wild thing that takes place because we're not meant to hear all that. And when we do, it begins to tear at us and wear us down. And then we end up at a place where we're just like emotionally exhausted because we're hearing things and we're knowing things and we're listening to things that we just shouldn't hear. We weren't made to hear all of that. Yes, we should hear things from our family, our peers, our community, but not from some stranger who lives in a place I'll never visit in my entire life. So I'm taking a little break. I'm still making my videos. I'm still going to be posting some reels and shorts and all that fun stuff of my gaming and maybe some videos about fatherhood and stuff like that. I'm still posting on Substack, of course, because that's where I'm posting my new book that I'm writing, which is called Christian Gaming Dad. But I'm going to be taking a little bit of a break where I'm just not going to be consuming social media all the time. I deleted some of these apps off my phone. I'm not going to be so tempted just to click on something and hear some random crazy person's opinion that really doesn't matter. So, gaming dads out there, I want to encourage you, if you feel called to kind of do that, to do that as well. And yeah, what are your thoughts on that? What do you guys think? Do you guys take little short breaks from social media or maybe long breaks from social media? Or maybe you don't even just have the apps on your phone to hear all of that garbage all the time. So anyways, I don't want to be removed from the world, but I also don't want to be consumed by the voices of the world. So anyways, those are my thoughts. You guys take care. And as always, be kind, use your mind, and game on.